All right. Welcome for those of you who I haven't had the opportunity to meet yet. I'm Mandy Gutman. I'm the Vice President of Communications and External Affairs for the PWHL. Thank you for joining us today as we welcome Melissa Caruso as the new General Manager of PWHL Minnesota. Melissa brings a wealth of experience from her 15 years with the AHL, where she most recently served as Vice President of Hockey Operations and Governance. In her role, she oversaw the off-ice aspects of the AHL's day-to-day operations. This included the complex task of building the league's annual schedule across 32 teams, a total of 1,152 games. Melissa also managed the league's central player registry and handled bylaws, regulations, and player eligibility while working closely with the Board of Governors. A resident of St. Paul, Melissa is poised to lead PWHL Minnesota with the same passion and dedication that has defined her impressive career. Joining Melissa today for media availability is Jayna Hefford, Senior Vice President of Hockey Operations for the PWHL. We'll begin today's press conference with a few opening comments from Melissa and Jayna, and then you may raise your virtual hand to ask a question. Once I call on you, please announce your name and outlet before asking your question. A reminder to please stay muted when you are not asking your question. So Melissa, we'll start with you. Congratulations and welcome to the PWHL. What are you most excited about with this role?
Yeah, thank you so much, Mandy. First and foremost, I want to thank PWHL ownership and the Hockey Operations Leadership Group for giving me this opportunity to become the next GM of PWHL Minnesota. I'm really excited and honored to be here and to become a part of this league. I realize I'm a new name here in the Twin Cities, so Mandy, thank you for the introduction and highlighting my past career, which I do think has really set me up for success here. To answer your question directly, I think, as a league employee for so much of my career, I've been an unbiased observer of so many hockey games, and I'm really excited to finally be able to wear PWHL Minnesota's colors and to cheer for the team and to have an invested interest in the outcome of each game. Thank you.
Thank you, Melissa. And Jayna, over to you. Why did you see Melissa as the right choice to become the next general manager of PWHL Minnesota?
Well, Melissa is someone that's been in our radar for quite some time. She obviously had been at the AHL, as you gave a rundown of her bio, for 15 years, the VP of Hockey Operations and Governance. So brought so much to the table in terms of her league hockey knowledge, her expertise in a number of tasks, including scheduling and CBA matters and working alongside multiple general managers across the AHL and NHL. She now resides in St. Paul, Minnesota, and across a number of people in the hockey industry and references she provided, she came so highly recommended. And in talking to Melissa, she really seemed like the type of leader that could come in and really bring some great hockey knowledge, some league background, and her leadership style. She's proven already to be a quick learner and a collaborative leader, and someone that we think is going to be incredibly successful in this market.
Thank you, Jayna. All right, we'll go ahead and open it up for questions. If you have a question, please use the raise hand feature. Otherwise, please stay muted until you are called on. And when you are selected, please give your name and your outlet. All right, let's start with Patrick Borzy. Go ahead.
Thanks, Mandy. I'm Melissa, Pat Borzy with minpost.com here in Minneapolis. Just curious, your background, particularly with the AHL, seems to be primarily in administration. What will be your role, as you see it, in player evaluation, draft preparation, those kind of things?
Yeah, thank you, Patrick. I think my background has really, allowed me to be exposed to all areas of hockey, and I feel very fortunate for that. I think if you look around, this league, the NHL, the AHL, everyone takes their own path to becoming a GM, and my background is one that I'm very proud of. In terms of the player piece of this, I have a lot to learn. I am a first-time general manager. I know I've got a great staff in place here. here in St. Paul, and I'm really looking forward to working with them. And I'm a fast learner, and I'm going to dive in head first here.
Yeah, the other question I had for you, and yeah, I'm not sure exactly when you started. I'm wondering where the franchise stands with securing a practice facility and a playing site for next year.
Yeah, thank you. I did start yesterday, so still learning all the pieces here. But it's my understanding that we're close to signing a lease for the upcoming season.
For both of them, both practice and a playing site?
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Thank you. Our next question, Jerry Zagoda.
Yeah, Jerry Zagoda from the Star Tribune. Melissa, can you just give a little background on your St. Paul and your Minnesota ties? Did you grow up here, and when have you lived here?
Yep. No, I did not grow up here. I'm from Massachusetts, from right outside of Boston. So I've spent the most of my life here. I have had the opportunity to live here full time in St. Paul for the past 2+ years. My husband relocated here for his career, and I followed and was fortunate to work for the American League remotely. But since moving here, I've really fallen in love with it here. We've built our home here. We've started to build our family here in St. Paul, and I'm really happy to have an opportunity here in St. Paul.
Jerry, are you good?
For this question.
Okay, great. Our next question comes from Tyler Cool.
Cool Daily Faceoff. Melissa, first of all, congratulations on the new gig here. Welcome to the PWHL. And I'm sure you're aware Minnesota's kind of been a little bit under fire over the last few months, shortly after winning the championship, with how things ended with the previous regime and the role you have now, and kind of how things went during the PWHL draft. I was wondering, during this hiring process, how aware were you made of the situation, and have you been kind of trying to form a plan between both the team here in Minnesota, but also with the fan base, who seems maybe a little bit of a fractured relationship as a result of what happened a couple months ago?
Yeah, thank you. I have definitely been made aware of everything that's been going on here over the past number of months. Moving forward, I think, like I said, I started here yesterday, so I'm gonna, evaluate, where we're at from a team and staff perspective, and move forward to look ahead to season 2.
Thank you very much.
Our next question, Dennis Gorman.
Hi, Melissa. Just to kind of circle back on Jerry's question, what can you and the league writ large do to kind of clear the air and relieve any lingering concerns the fan base might hold?
Thank you. I think I'll pass it off to Jayna and see if she wants to jump in here and address some of these questions.
Sure. Thanks, Melissa. We're incredibly proud of the team that's been built in Minnesota, and obviously Walter Cup champions, and look forward to continuing to celebrate a great tradition that started last season. We continue to look towards building a team that provides an environment and built on values of inclusivity. And this is something that, we're looking for Melissa to come in and continue to build in this market. But we're really excited to see this team back on the ice again and have an opportunity to defend their Walter Cup championship.
Great. And for Melissa, what are the challenges you face coming in and overseeing a team that you're inheriting? How do you place your stamp on that on the team?
Yeah, thank you. As Billie Jean King says, pressure is a privilege. I think it's no secret that what Natalie built here during season 1 was really an incredible foundation for this team. She's so beloved here in the state of hockey. So I know all eyes are on me, starting yesterday. I'm ready to kind of take on that challenge. But yeah, I think there certainly is going to be an added pressure, and I think expectations are high for the team and for the fans. I'm lucky to have inherited what I have inherited. I think there's a great base here. As I talked about taking on this opportunity with my friends, my family, my mentors, the advice they gave me was, to be myself, and that's exactly what I'm going to do.
Great. Thank you very much.
All right, John Shipley, go ahead.
Thanks, Mandy. Melissa, this is John Shipley. I'm with the St. Paul paper. And I'm wondering where you are in terms of, I don't really know where the league is right now. Like, is your roster set? Are you still looking to sign people? And like, are you ready for the season whenever that begins?
We do have some work to be done. We have 16 players signed out of a 23 person roster. So we do have some players still to be signed. And, I think those conversations, evaluating the roster, that'll start, for me personally next week with our coaching staff. So look forward to taking the next steps to be prepared for training camp.
Do you know, I know the schedule hasn't been released yet, but I mean, are we looking at like January again, or do you have a couple months here, or is it closer than that?
From a
It's
schedule
my
standpoint, I was
go
going to say, Jayna, do you want to talk to the schedule?
Yeah, absolutely. The schedule has not been released, as you mentioned. It's a pretty complex task to be able to work around schedules and venues that also hold NHL, NBA teams. So we're really excited about getting teams back on the ice and in the process of getting that schedule out. And as soon as that's available, we will share it. We do expect the season will start somewhat earlier than last season, so before January 1st.
Okay. Then my last question, and this could be for either of you really, and I know you're probably not gonna answer it, but when you say you're close to signing a lease in Minnesota, is the X and our Tria rink, are they still on that table?
Yeah, we don't expect any changes for the upcoming season.
Okay, gotcha. Thank you.
Haley, would you like to go ahead?
Yeah, thanks, Mandy. I think I'll ask this question of Jayna and then maybe follow up with Melissa. Just more curious about the process of, picking Melissa and then Melissa taking this job. Jayna, when did you kind of start this process of looking for a new GM, and when did you guys make the decision with Melissa?
Thanks, Haley. We started the process, I believe it was beginning of July, late June, beginning of July. We had an incredible amount of candidates that applied for this job. We also had a network of people, as I mentioned. Melissa is one person that had been on our radar among a few others that we also reached out to understand if there was interest from those folks as well. But can't speak highly enough about the candidate pool that was put in front of us. My colleagues, Chris Burkett, Annie Cammons in Hockey Ops, did an incredible amount of work in the early stages to talk to a number of these candidates and really feel comfortable with a select few that moved on to further stages. And Melissa, the more we spoke to her, it just became more and more clear that she was an ideal candidate for us to take on this role. So yeah, it was great to get to know her over multiple calls and learn the skills that she was going to bring to the table.
Melissa, can I maybe follow up on your perspective? Like, when would you have kind of put your hat in the ring? Was this something you'd kind of been looking out for? Like, can you just kind of take us through the process from your perspective?
Yeah, absolutely. I mentioned I was working remotely for the American League, which was, great for my situation at the time, but had definitely been keeping my eye out for my next opportunity, here locally. So really lucky that this came about. I think I've been, following the launch of this league, for the past year plus. It's just been incredible what the PWHL has built. So I'm really excited to be able to work for the PWHL. And I was lucky that the AHL, had a little bit of a partnership with the league last year in terms of sharing best practices and sharing ideas and even some on-ice officials. So really familiar with the structure of the league and really lucky to have gotten this opportunity. Yeah, I had some, kind of informal conversations, with Jayna and Chris and Annie. And, as I learned more and more about the position, definitely became more interested in it and thought it was, a great next step for me.
Thank you.
Our next question comes from Sophia Blue.
Hi, Melissa. Sophia Blue, student journalist from Minnehaha Academy in Minneapolis. I just have a question. Are there any first moves or actions you're going to take? Because you said that you started yesterday as the general manager. what's your first plan of action?
Yeah, right now, all I'm doing right now is really just gathering information. I'm trying to talk to as many people as I can and, introduce myself to everyone. Try and get in and meet some of the staff this week, on the business side and the hockey staff as well, virtually and, be calling all the players and introducing myself. I think right now I'm definitely in the information gathering stage.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sophia. Jess Myers, go ahead.
This question's probably more for Jayna. I'm curious, we've heard a lot about nicknames, logos, things like that. Are we going to be just going with community names again for a second season, or is kind of more defined identity in the works?
Thanks for the question. Excited to let you know that we will have team names and logos that are going to be coming very, very soon. So something that our team has been working incredibly hard on and can't wait to be able to share those with all of our fans.
Sounds great. Thank you.
Dana, please go ahead.
Thanks a lot. This is actually for both Jayna and Melissa. Jayna, you spoke of the many candidates who threw their hats in the ring for the GM job. It was clear last year that head coach Ken Klee wanted the general manager's job. Are you worried about an awkward situation with he and a new general manager? And is Ken definitely going to come back as head coach of the Minnesota franchise, or has that not been decided yet?
Yeah, Ken Klee is the head coach of our Minnesota team, and I'm not concerned at all about any issue around the general manager role. We've selected Melissa as an ideal candidate to lead this team, and Ken will lead the team on the ice as he did last season.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dana. John Shipley, did you have another question?
I wanted to ask Melissa, did you, as part of your interview process, did you speak to members of the team?
I did not speak with any members of the team
Okay.
until I have officially started here.
Okay, and so you're just calling them just to introduce yourself right now, basically?
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Jerry Zagoda, did you have another question?
Yeah, just to follow up one of the previous questions, will Ken have any kind of increased role in player personnel decision?
Ken remains the head coach of the team and someone that I'm sure Melissa will lean on as it relates to hockey related issues. But yeah, his role is the same as the head coach of PWHL Minnesota.
I think I'll just hop in here and, I feel lucky to have Ken, as a leader of the team in the locker room. And, he's got extensive coaching experience. I anticipate learning, a ton from him and from the staff, and look forward to working with him this upcoming season.
Did you talk with him during this process?
I spoke with Ken this week. Yep. I thought it was a, really positive conversation. And it's our plan to meet in person next week.
Thank you.
Our next question, Jess Myers.
Just another one for Jayna quickly. Obviously some big crowds in places like Detroit and Pittsburgh, some non-PWHL markets. Where are we at looking beyond kind of the original 6 here? Is there expansion on the horizon, or is that a discussion?
I think that was one of the maybe most pleasant surprises of year one, was how quickly we started talking about expansion and various groups and markets that want to have teams. So it's been something that has been talked about for a number of months now. We don't have immediate plans, but we certainly are having discussions about what this league will look like in the next 2 years, 5 years, 10 years. And certainly expansion would be a part of those discussions.
Great, thank you. Dana, did you have a follow-up question?
Sorry about that. I did not take my hand down. I do not. Thanks.
No problem. All right. I see Jerry and John, you still have your hands up. I'll move over to Sophia Blue. John, can you please mute your? Thank you.
This question's also for Jayna, just kind of piggybacking off the last question, talking more neutral site venues. Are we expecting any more neutral site venues, maybe even in the future going international, like the NHL has done with like the different series in Sweden and other countries like that?
Great question. We are looking to do more neutral site games than we did last season. So really excited to be able to expand our reach in our market and hopefully reach new fans in various markets. We haven't identified yet exactly where that'll be. I would like to think at some point that we would expand our market reach outside of North America for particular neutral site games, but nothing has been confirmed at this point.
Thank you. Our next question, Pat Borsey.
Yeah, this is for Jayna and probably has more to do with the league than it does with Minnesota. But the email that we got about this Zoom call apparently came from an address in Chicago. Does the league now have an American office in Chicago, or what's that all about?
I can jump in here. I'm curious. I'm happy to connect with you afterwards, Pat.
Okay.
I'm not sure what the Chicago connection is.
That's neither was I, which is why I asked. Okay, no problem. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. John Shipley, did you have a final question?
I do, thanks. I guess Melissa could answer this too. Are there more resources for the teams than there were last year? I guess maybe Jayna too. It was a very successful year. I'm wondering if you've added any staff behind the scenes or anything like that.
Yeah, I think generally we continue to grow. As you said, our inaugural season was incredibly successful, and we certainly have higher expectations for season 2 and beyond. So as we continue to grow, we will continue to provide more resources as we can. I don't know if I can pinpoint specific ones today, but our teams are growing in terms of personnel, but we also will continually strive to get bigger and better and make sure we're providing the resources required for a professional hockey league.
Thanks.
We'll take one final question. Jess Myers.
This is just kind of a housekeeping question, but in Minnesota, is Joe Anderson still in the media relations role, or who would we contact directly with the team in Minnesota?
We are currently working on that role right now. So in the meantime, you're welcome to reach out to me or Paul Krotz at the league, and we are happy to assist.
Sounds great. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining today. Congratulations, Melissa. Thank you, Jayna. Thank you, everyone. We look forward to reconnecting soon for another announcement in the near future. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.